All right, and we are live.
We are here.
Welcome to episode 4. Um, Anybody that's watching, bear with us. This is kind of an experiment. Tonight we're using Restream in order to stream multicast. So, in addition to Twitch, we're also streaming to Facebook, Twitter, and Periscope. So, if anybody's watching this by some chance during the stream or whatnot, shoot us a message, leave a comment or whatnot to let us know how it's working on your end. So that way we can kind of get anything ironed out. I don't think there's a lot we can do on this side. And starting with the next episode, YouTube will get added to this as well. So we'll be streaming to all platforms all at one time. So not everybody has to actually set up an account with Twitch to watch, and we'll just kind of go from there. So with having said that, what we're going to do is the first part of the stream, we're just going to kind of chit chat retail. If there's any questions or any stories you want to hear, send us a message. If not, about halfway through, we'll get into a kind of a touchy subject. We're going to talk about the proposed $15 an hour minimum wage and what that means and how that can help and how that can hurt and what the ups and downs are to that. So without any further ado, Alex, what you got for us?
Yeah, tonight's going to be a very different episode. We're testing out streaming to multiple platforms tonight. We're going to just see how many people we can reach, how well this can run. Trying to really get the Generation Void out there. Steve, did we have any offline followers?
Yeah, I sent them to you.
I never got that message.
Mug of Paul was one, and I sent that to your personal Facebook.
Yeah, that's actually where I'm looking right now, and I don't.
There were only two. It was Mug of Paul, and then the other one was somebody that you knew.
Oh, okay. But yeah, those were our offline follows. We'll try to keep up with everything going down on Facebook, Twitter. If any of you guys are watching from that platform, please feel free to throw it in the chat. It'll come up here in the center screen.
Yeah, the way this is supposed to work is Restream actually provides an app that aggregates all the different chats and comment sections from all different platforms. So we're kind of curious to see if it actually works. Biba, hey. Looking forward to
Good.
And then there were 3, huh?
Good to see you there, Beba. Good to see you. Steve, how has your day been going so far?
It was uneventful. Had somebody come and fix the breaker for our dryer. It kept flipping it every time we turned it on, so that was fun. Other than that, just sitting around, messing around with this stuff, trying to see what kind of stuff I could get to work. That's really pretty much it. What about you?
Yeah, today I've just been getting ready for my stream that I'm going to be doing tonight. I got a little bit of a thing that I'm going to be streaming, kind of special.
Was that what you? Yeah, was that what you posted in Discord?
Yes, pretty much. Just minus the ray tracing.
So,
because the ray tracing isn't public yet, so.
So this computer that you got, you can do ray tracing on it?
Yeah. My graphics card is ray tracing ready.
Which card did you get?
It is the 1660 Ti. Like, it's a lower end, but I do plan on getting a 3070 like later at the end of this year once they become more available to the market.
Got you. One thing that I see, and I'm seeing this in your screen, Alex, there does seem to be a lag with you.
That's weird.
Beba, is there a definitive lag between what you hear him say and what you see his mouth doing?
Yeah, I tried to listen to the audio and everything sounded good within the audio.
Well, it could also be too, with us streaming to other platforms. All right, so Bebop says not that I've noticed. So maybe it's fixing itself. live. I'm not real sure, so we're just going to kind of roll with it. Do we have anybody out there watching on
Yeah.
Facebook? If we do, can someone leave a comment to see if that actually registers over here?
I can actually go into the Facebook stream real quick and just leave a test message and just make for
Yeah,
sure.
leave a test comment just to see.
There's my
Wow,
test
that was pretty
message.
quick.
Hey, there it is. Oh wow, that's a 100,000 channel point.
So Alex, on your end, you're showing this live, right? On Facebook?
Yeah, it just literally went live like just now.
Yeah, there's a huge delay. So we may get some people after the fact. Hero, that might be why we're not showing on Facebook yet. You might want to check again. I'll check as well.
Yeah,
Like I said, this is a training wheels episode. So we got a lot of
The beginning part of this episode is going to be kind of slow, just because we're trying to expand to other platforms as well, so we can really get the Generation Void's name out there.
Let's see.
Oh no, it's pretty real time.
Is it?
You're showing live and it's in real time.
Oh wow, that's awesome. That's good to know, especially with the fact that service is free.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good. That's actually pretty insane.
So, like I said, I think that we can get a little bit more reach on Facebook. There's some, there's a lot of people on Facebook that are there that they have no idea what Twitch is and have no desire to go to Twitch and set up an account and all that mess. And I get it, So, but that's cool that it's working on Facebook. And it's cool that your comment was pretty instantaneous. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I doubt we'll get anything from Twitter, but it's there. So the YouTube one's going to be the interesting one, when we're able to do that.
Steve, where can you find us at on Twitter?
At the Generation Void.
Okay. Yeah, and you can find me at Addicts2993. Actually,
on our Twitch page, there's actually in the About section actually shows the different links. I think I've got it on the Generation Void Facebook page as well. I'll post it on my personal page because, like I said, the only downside of this being free is you have to post it to a personal page, not a managed page. So I wasn't going to dish any money into it out of the gate just for that.
Oh yeah, no, it's fine coming from your personal page.
But the cool thing with Restream, Alex, we can stream up to 30 different platforms.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Because pretty sure we're just streaming through Restream and it's just
That's correct, because you get a stream key from Restream. And they actually have an on-site video. What's up, Amanda? Nice. Does it look okay, Amanda?
Yeah, from what little bit I watched from it, everything looked and sounded fine.
Sweet.
So it looked literally the same quality as Twitch here.
Well, I did discover when going back and looking at it that it does different things for different sites. Like for Facebook, it does 720p. For Twitch, it's still sitting at the 1080p, 30 frames per second. Twitter is pretty squashed, but it's not awful. I mean, it's watchable. Looks fantastic. That's awesome. Hero, you're like the only one that's not seen it on Facebook.
Oh yeah, no, it's absolutely live on Facebook. Just close out your app or the desktop and just refresh it and it's there.
And so far, judging by my end, we're still sitting at 30 frames per second. So I do see a little loss of clarity in what I normally have on my screen. I'm not really sure what that is, but other than that, I mean, I think we're good.
Yeah, no, it literally looks the exact same.
Sweet. So, Biba, are you preparing your argument? You doing your homework this weekend?
The great Batman
Yeah,
argument.
Monday we're gonna have it, and then there were three. Hopefully, we're gonna have Beba 205 on to argue his case for Batman. I would like to say that once again we were ahead of the news accidentally. Our first episode we did about gaming, we mentioned EA Sports NCAA football, and then the next day it was announced. And then, so
Yeah.
Monday night we have a
There's a
Batman debate,
TikTok on
and
that.
I'm bad mouthing about how bad Jared Leto was as a Joker. And then the next day, they released pictures of Leto as the Joker in an added scene in Justice League, looking totally different and looking a whole lot more Heath Ledgerish than the garbage that they fed us in Suicide Squad. So Alex said that we're kind of like the Simpsons. I don't know. We'll figure that out later.
Well, I mean, so far we're 2 of 2 in predicting
Wow,
the future.
God, we may have to retire if we talk about this minimum wage thing, and tomorrow they announce that they went ahead and did it. that would that would
That's not
that would be
retirement,
bad,
brother.
real bad. So
That's internet fame.
retail, Alex, what you got? What you want to talk about?
Have you been into Uncle Sam Mart recently?
Yes, actually, and it was a barren wasteland. I was like, what the hell's going on here? Yeah, it was
Really?
bad. I mean, holes
Like just
everywhere.
out of product.
Out of product everywhere.
Okay, out of
My wife
product.
made the comment, and she's dead on. The toy aisles look just like they did at Christmas, empty.
Probably a lot of companies still haven't really restaffed, considering the world's current
I don't think
state.
it's restaff. I think it's there's a big pile up of containers on the West Coast, imports that are just waiting to be processed that they haven't got around to. So there's a lot of people not getting product. The empty boxes still sitting on the shelf and everything. Yeah, I mean it was. I came out and I was like, man, our Bama friend wouldn't let one of his Walmarts look like that. Let's just say. Yep, Amanda trying to get stuff from overseas. Yeah. I mean, it's rough. I mean, the supply chain's bad. I mean, my wife works in the grocery business. They're having issues. It seems to be all over. And I mean, it seems to be soft goods, hard goods, edible goods, all the way around. And it's a little concerning because, just for instance, if COVID was to blow back up like real fast, they're going to be a problem real fast.
Yeah, because literally every day before I even try to get prepared to go to work, as I go to work kind of like later in the evening, if I ever try to go to the drive-thru or go to Uncle Sam Mart for any supplies, dude, it is actually impossible because it's always just so ridiculously busy in my area. Just constant craziness, and it's been like that ever since COVID hit. How has it been over in your area?
Well, I mean, are you talking about business-wise as far as being busy or availability of merchandise?
Yes, business-wise.
Business-wise, it's the places that I frequent. I mean, the grocery store is always busy. I mean, it's just that those places print money like nobody's business. But the times I've went to Walmart, I mean, it's not been stellar. And we drove by. We went into Second and Charles tonight, and it was pretty barren. And then Old Time Pottery's an anchor store there as well, and they were just about empty. Michael's Arts and Crafts didn't have a lot going on. So I mean, I think I don't know if it's a question of people just still aren't going out, or people have caught on to the fact that nobody has anything. Or maybe we just became so reliant on Amazon, we don't need to go anywhere.
Yeah, that's kind of here in Georgia. They're just not with the times because literally everywhere you go is just unbelievably packed out and just nothing but craziness too. Like Hero says here in the chat, there is nothing but Karens out in this time.
Yeah,
like people.
With the most ridiculous requests, man.
it's like these are essential workers. Like we're
Mm-hmm.
out on the front
Correct.
lines. We're literally risking ourselves every time we go to work, and you're gonna complain because you can't spend your stimulus check on a
Yeah, that's it.
TV.
You've got frontline workers, having to put up with this bullshit, and you're wearing masks and you're trying not to catch COVID and take it home. And 9 times out of 10, the Karens could care less. They sneezing and coughing and yelling and spitting on you and whatnot. They ain't got a mask on anywhere. They don't care. They just want their overpriced product from China and keep it moving. And half the time, I think they actually know that you don't have it, and I think they're coming in just to blow off steam and just yell at somebody.
And just on a side note, I know it may be horrible to wear a mask while you're out. Like, because when COVID first started, it was about impossible to get me to wear a mask just because I was stubborn and I thought that I was being like some sort of hero figure or something by not going with the sheep or whatever. But wear your mask.
I don't want to get into the mask debate. I just look at it like this. I'm a parent and I have children, okay? I don't care if the mask gave me 110% protection or gave me 0.001% protection. That 0.001 is still worth it to me to keep my kids safe. I mean, it's not a big deal. And my wife will tell you I'm a difficult individual to get along with, and even I'm okay with it. I'm just like, fine, whatever. I mean, what's it really hurting? I mean, seriously?
Well, whatever helps us get through it faster is how I view it.
Plus, my masks are black, and I wear all black anyway, so it's cool. My friend Trent and I talk about that. How great it is that you can walk into a store dressed in all black with a black hat and a black mask on, man. People just dream of that.
Yeah, my mask is literally like a cartoony looking mask.
With hey, Fear, that's unfair, bro. That's totally unfair. You were there when I discovered this stuff before anybody knew what it was, and I was already saying, oh, God, here it comes. We're in trouble. We're in trouble. Sure enough. Hey, even.
Oh, yeah.
No. The masks have nothing to do with conspiracy theory. It's just protecting you guys. That's all it is. I mean, I don't care. I mean, at least I'm not like these older people who are like, if it's my time to die, it's my time to die. That's a great way to look at it. Wow. Okay. And like I said, they may not work. Okay. If they don't work, fine.
If you ever get to that point, I'm driving to South Carolina and I'm going to shake you and get you out of that.
No, I'm not worried about that.
I won't allow that because I hate that. Like, I'm going through that with a couple of my grandparents right now where they're just like, it's just about to be the end of the line for me. And I'm like, no, where is your fight?
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I'm sorry. I mean, I just, it's not hurting nothing to do it, man. I mean, it's, if you have a cut and you're bleeding, well, you're going to put a Band-Aid on it. And if you're really cheap, you're going to find some duct tape or masking tape and throw that on there. You'll get like some toilet paper and wrap it around the cut and then some masking tape. But, it's not that big a deal. I mean, I don't feel like, somebody came and took my freedom because I wore a mask. I still get to do whatever the hell I want to do.
Can we talk about this, Steve?
What?
People wearing their masks like this.
Hey, man. Hey, look. Full disclosure. Anybody can do what they want. I don't care. If you don't want to wear a mask, fine. It's your right. I don't care. I don't have an opinion on it either way. Everybody's free to make whatever decision they want to make. And I'm not going to say that somebody's wrong or right. You don't want to wear a mask? Hey, more power to you. If I'm going to, I don't care. I mean, I'm going to do me. All right. So I'm going to do my thing and keep it moving and not worry about everybody else. And that's part of the problem is we're too worried about everybody else. Just take care of you and yours.
Steve, I was the freak while we was on vacation toward the end of last year. I was the freak literally wearing my mask like everywhere. Despite a lot of people I was around not wearing theirs. Like, I was like constant.
Russell Zom for the win. Hold on. Russell Zom for the win. He is correct. You can get it through your eyes just as quick as your nose or mouth. And that's the funny thing because I keep waiting for him to be like, gotta wear goggles. And then I'm going to be like, hot damn, I can have an entire black outfit complete with like black goggles and mask. I mean, it's gonna be
Oh,
awesome.
dude, I'm trying to go out full
Awesome.
ninja. I'm trying to go full ninja
That'd be some
style.
great shit, dude.
Oh yeah, dude. I wore a mask on a giant like swinging arm thing in Gatlinburg. Don't even know the name of the ride, but I even wore my mask there.
I mean, bro, the day they say we need goggles, I'll be dressed as a plague doctor, or I'll have a gas mask on. I'm going to live my best life. See, that's the kind of attitude to have, sir. Props to you.
Yes. Yes. I'm gonna get a big Van Vader. I'm gonna get a Darth Vader mask. I don't know about y'all. I'm wearing Darth Vader.
There's somebody. Oh,
me personally.
There's somebody I know from my Jesus's craft store days, who's an artist, and he made a mask out of a Darth Vader mask. It was awesome.
You want to know something I hate, though,
What's that?
Steve? The ultimate Karen play.
Let's hear it.
People who wear the welding mask, walking around in Uncle Sam Mart, who wear a big giant face shield.
Hey, they're trying, man. At least it's not like the video I saw the other day where it was some foreign country lady walks in and they're telling her, like, you can't shop here, you don't have a mask, and she's raising hell, and she's wearing like a sundress, and she reaches down and she pulls her panties off, right? I mean, she doesn't show anything, but she pulls her panties off and throws them on her face like it's an emergency face mask, cussing them the whole time. I'm like, ew. Ew.
That's kind of hardcore, and I respect it.
It was compliant. I mean, but that was nasty gross, man. Nasty gross.
Hey, man, you got to do what you got to do.
And you know, as far as the mask goes, long before COVID, there's some situations where the mask would have helped. I mean, Russell, you know about Cherrydale. We should have had masks way back then, bro. I mean, that was awful. The bathrooms there, you literally had to have a hazmat suit to go into. You're finding needles and blood, and it was awful. Big Van Vader mask would be cool, though.
Oh, yeah. Also, you just got to love the fact that, you know, Steve, just like only because this little subject is kind of come in my head. If you want to just not answer this, I understand, and we can move on from this subject. What do you feel a stimulus check should be spent on? Do you think that it's wrong for someone to take a stimulus check and just blow it on like
Well,
a
I mean,
TV?
you're going to have people blow it on hookers and blow. So, I mean, the way I look at it, if you get it, you should use it for the things you need to use it for, to pay bills. But they're not. There's people that still to this day are saying that they're broke. That's because they used all their money to buy PS5s and other bullshit. I mean,
oh yeah, no, that my stimulus check, literally both of them. If it wasn't for the second one when I was out of work for 4 weeks, there's no way I could have paid any of my bills. So like all that had to go to bills. My second one, like I saved most of it. Some of it got invested. You know, we'll see how that plays out.
Please tell me, what did you do? Jump on the Wall Street bets? GME to the moon.
That was a little bit.
You got diamond hands, Alex, or paper hands?
Oh, we looking at paper hands.
somehow that doesn't shock me. Diamond hands, my man. Hey Archer, how you like the fact that you did all caps and Nightbot didn't cuss you out?
Oh yeah, Nightbot got
Nightbot got neutered. Ever since Fear said he was going to whip Nightbot's ass, I figure I better do something. Speaking of Fear, talking about that, survival ideally, but at the end of the day, it's their money. They can do with what they want. You're right. They can. But you can't keep spending it on stuff that doesn't benefit you and complain that you're out of money and keep asking for more.
All I know is a lot of TVs got bought when the $1,200 dropped last year. That's why I keep on saying TVs.
You know, sometimes I think it comes down to how you're raised, to be honest with you. Russell, you bought a pair of Ric Flair socks. Woo. Big spender.
I respect that.
Exactly. If you're
I
stupid enough
respect
to
it.
drop it on luxuries as if it were a tax return, then that's on you. Yeah, I mean, it is.
Oh, now my tax return, on the other hand, that's irresponsible because if you just look at what I'm streaming on to the right,
But, you know, you've got kind of a path forward, Alex. There's things you want, you know, it's like we started this thing, you know, and it's something to do. It's cool. But, you know, you need gear for that. I mean, yeah, I bought another PC. I mean, my primary computer's a Mac, but it's an older Mac and it wasn't able to really do what I wanted it to do for this. And so I went and bought.
yeah,
But
exactly. Fear working a year, especially now in these times, like just even going to work in general, just should be
well, really,
rewarding.
tax returns. I mean,
Like,
it's your money anyway. The government borrowed it from you and is
yes,
just giving it back. So my advice is just make sure everything that you need to
yes.
take care of is taken care of. Then whatever else you do is your business. You know, hookers and
Oh
blow
yeah,
are not a good
exactly.
idea.
Depending on your predicament.
No, it's still
Depending on your predicament.
no. I don't think there's any situation where hookers and blow is the ideal way to do it. Archer says my returns are going to go into more stocks. Do you like the stock? Excuse me. Do you like the stonk, Archer?
Yeah, correct. Stonk. I was trying to correct you.
Game stonks.
A new GPU. Nice. Yeah, I gotta look into upgrading that.
Yeah, ape. Nice. That's great. Me go to moon. Beautiful.
Me go to moon.
Beautiful. That is. So, are you investing in AMC or Bed Bath and Beyond?
I already know the answer to this.
And are you
I know.
and are you still holding GME?
Steve, that man Archer Von Krieger there, he has a certain stonk. He
Holding
has a
to the
very,
moon. Diamond
very
hands wanting to see the hedge funds go broke.
Oh, he may or may not have a game stonk.
That is beautiful. Beautiful. So this is turning into an interesting conversation. Do we got anybody out there in Facebook land still? Or is everybody just here from Twitch?
We probably just got everyone here from Twitch still, to be honest.
Well, there might be some people watching on Facebook going like, "What is this mess?"
Well, they're probably
just
like,
terrified.
You know, we're promised retail Warzone, and now we're talking about stonks. What is a stonk?
To the moon. Hey, Wit, what's up? You ready to talk some UFO soon?
Oh God! Here we go with the UFOs
Alex,
on retail
Alex.
Warzone.
You better get right with the Lord because they're going to come, and when they do, they're probably even
right
here. So you better get right with Jesus, because when the aliens hit, it's going to be world changing, and it's coming. I mean, the government is actually it's not a UFO. Actually, it is a UAP, unidentified aerial phenomenon.
I had to
X-Files for the win.
I had to allow Fear's monster or Fear message there to come through. That's beautiful. Been binge watching X-Files all month.
Yep.
Lord have mercy. If we're talking stonks.
Whoa. Time out. Hold up. Wit, you got an autographed Stanton Friedman book? Like for real? And
oh my!
And if so, Wit, did I ever tell you the story about calling Stanton Friedman? That's a crazy story. That's
this retail Warzone episode is more of a just.
Yeah, it seems like it. We're going to get into the we're going to get to the minimum wage thing soon.
To the sub talk, but yeah.
Okay, so
y'all are talking about
this is a little different topic. So when Independence Day came out on VHS, yes, I'm dating myself. There was if you bought it through Best Buy, you got a bonus VHS that were called UFOs Are Real. There's a green cover or whatnot. Now, fast forward until like sometime in the early 2000s, and maybe I had a little bit more.
Steve is the evidence of the
No,
Brady
but
Bunch.
maybe I had a little too much adult beverage. But I decided to sit down and watch this thing. And Stanton Friedman was, a large part of it. And I love Friedman. I think he was one of the best ufologists out there, honestly. And at the end of this video, it popped up this phone number for Stanton Friedman. And I'm thinking, like, this thing came out, courage juice. Nice. Thanks. But it had his phone number at the end. And this had been years since Independence Day came out. And it was like well after midnight. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. And I get my phone and decide I'm going to call Stanton Friedman just to see. And I call, and sure as shit, he answered the phone. And I just turned white, didn't have anything to say, and hung up. So that's my Stanton Friedman story.
There you go.
It's Jake from State Farm. She sounds ugly. Nice. All right. So let's talk.
Have a good rest of your night.
You did not get your phone. What? I don't understand. Hero. But anyway, so anywho, let's talk some retail. So, Alex, anything you want to touch on real quick?
Nothing like too specific. I'm kind of ready to go ahead and just dive into this controversy.
So let's talk the proposed $15 an hour minimum wage. I had posted a poll earlier. Not a lot of people saw it, and if they did, they didn't care to, participate. There were only 3 votes, and it was.
To be fair, Steve, that is such a touchy subject.
But it's anonymous.
I can really see why.
So out of the people that actually took it, 75% said yay to the increase. 25% said no. So we'll start with you, Alex. Well, first of all, let me put something up here on the screen. I've got a chart that shows minimum wage per state. So this is effective since January 9th, 2021. All the ones that are red, obviously, are still sitting at $7.25 an hour. The good old South. But you're looking at, Florida's at $8.65, Nebraska's at $9, Nevada $9.75, and obviously places where the cost of living is higher, it's higher. Oregon's $12.75, California's $14, Arizona's $12.15.
I'm trying to find Mississippi.
Mississippi is $7.25. All the southern states basically. Texas is $7.25. Louisiana $7.25. Mississippi $7.25. Alabama $7.25. Georgia $7.25. South Carolina $7.25. North Carolina $7.25. Tennessee $7.25. So there's a lot of red there. And it also too, the interesting thing was Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, South Carolina, and Tennessee have not adopted a minimum wage, while Georgia and Wyoming are below the $7.25 federal minimum. Conversely, I also have another chart that shows mean housing versus income. So this is 2016 with projected growth through 2026. And the 2 bars in the middle, that's, the average wage you would have to make average nationwide to afford a 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom. A 1-bedroom at $18.65 an hour. But then you look right underneath that, you got medical assistants making $16.38. Laborers and material movers, $13.78. And then you go on down, and the average, was food prep workers and fast food were making $10.36. So there's just some.
I'm trying to find specific retail, in this chart.
I would say that retail probably falls within food prep workers and fast food. To be honest with you, It's going to be on the
Yeah, that's
yeah, it's going to
crazy
be
to
on the
me
lower end. I mean,
because the unfortunate thing of this chart, if you consider today's times and what we're all going through, like literally as a world, look at how low food prep workers and fast food is. Those are frontline workers. Look at medical assistants.
yeah,
And then you move up to software developers and applications.
but
Don't get me
also
wrong. I love my video
if you
games. I love
if you
my
take
software.
COVID
But
into consideration, if you look at home health aides, janitors, cleaners, medical assistants, man, those three are right there, and personal care aides. You know, home health aides, man, think about that. You know, they're doing hospice work and things like that. It's sketchy.
yeah, I agree. Um, I am in favor. I am in favor of raising everything up to 15. I know that that's going to raise the cost of living up dramatically. I know that going to Mick, trying to think of a code name for that.
Well, here's the thing we need. Here's the thing,
But
Alex, we need to get out of the way. You just hit that point. This, it's really not about the wage, okay? And the reason I say that is this: you bump minimum wage to $15 an hour, okay? That's one goalpost moved. But corporate America is going to move the second goalpost, which is going to make everything cost more. So it's exactly the same thing we're dealing with now, just with bigger numbers.
But wouldn't it take a long time though? Like, wouldn't there actually be a period where a lot more people are going to be making a lot more money before the cost of living gets raised up, like higher?
No.
Because the cost of living is raising up anyway.
There
like,
was a
as we
chart.
speak.
I didn't have it. I think it's around 1975 is where there started to be a huge difference between wages and cost of living. Up until that point in time, it was pretty equal. But no, because people want to make money. Corporations want to make money. I mean, they're going to use inflation as an excuse. They're going to use all sorts of things. But you raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour, the prices of everything are going to go up proportionately. So it all moves in sync. And no, it would be a very, very short period of time before things start going up in price. There'd be very little delay because corporations are going to be like, well, shit, they're making $15 an hour. That's more money we can get. Let's go.
Let me ask you this from a manager perspective. Only because I'm curious. Would you rather pay 3 employees $7.25 an hour to get suboptimal horrible work done, or would you rather pay one really good worker $15 an hour?
Ask me that one more time. I was looking at the comments.
Okay. Yeah, I was asking, would you rather take 3 subpar workers that are just very average, but they're making $7.25 an hour? Or would you rather have one really good worker, but they get paid $15 an hour?
I would rather have the solid $15 an hour.
Because I feel like that's something that could happen potentially with a $15 minimum wage increase. We could weed out a lot of the weak. Everybody needs jobs, 100%. Like, I'm not saying people need to lose their jobs. I'm just saying that people who are on the front lines, like in, your local Walmarts, in your McDonald's, in your places, I would like to see them get paid more, like they deserve.
Well, honestly, in my opinion, and Hero will agree, pretty heated conversation about this on the way home this evening. But here's what needs to happen. All right, there are 2 things fundamentally that are wrong in this country when it comes to this topic. You need to do one of 2 things. you need to either A, raise minimum wage, and then governmentally regulate to make sure the corporations don't raise prices, or B, you leave the wages the way they are and you start really looking into reducing the cost of living, because it's just chasing your tail at this point. The one comment that I made is that for the people out there that they don't want to work, they're always the first to want to go home. They're calling in sick. They come in, they want to go home early. They mess up their schedules. They get people to switch with them and whatnot. It doesn't matter if you pay them $7.25 or $35 an hour. They're still going to be that way.
They're still going to be that way. And the thing is, there's nothing wrong. Yes, everybody needs their personal time, and if you need to switch, sure. But at the same time, don't ask for the extra hours that day to then in turn switch it off onto someone else. Like, I've seen that done many times, previous places I've
Raising
worked.
the minimum wage isn't going to solve lazy. All right, so that's
Not
the
at
thing.
all.
And it, to me, Russell, I mean, you know who I'm about to talk about. But let's say you got an individual who, let's say he's 60-something years old. He lived with his mom his entire life. Good.
Uh-oh.
Good guy. And if anybody called out sick, you could call this guy and he would show up no matter what. And he would come to you begging for hours. He was like clutch. I mean, anytime you needed him, he'd be there. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And he can't make it because he doesn't have the capacity to be a manager. There's things he can and cannot do. But he's a damn good employee and works his tail off for the company he works for, is devoted to it and loyal to it. Why shouldn't that person make $15 an hour?
They should allow managers on a store level, corporate in general, should allow managers on a store level to fully control that, like wage and everything. I don't think it should be controlled on a corporate level, because I've seen that firsthand. They just take like a scale and be like, oh yeah, you were good. That's a 32-cent raise. Like,
well, here's the trick.
Come on.
If any of you guys get into retail management, here's the trick. The way you really make money is leaving and going to another retailer. That's just how it is. Because once you get the salary that you get, your bonuses, never buy into a bonus. Never take a salary based on, well, your bonus is going to be such and such. Because guess what? That bonus is not guaranteed money. So negotiate what you can. However, once you make X amount of dollars as a salary, when raise time comes around, it's percentages. And you're talking like 2%. You're talking about you could be in a business for 20 to 50 to 30 years, and you're still at a range where you're only getting like a quarter an hour raise. So it's, as far as that goes, that's how that works. All right. You're never going to get paid what you're worth. That's the sad part. It doesn't matter, how hard you work. Okay. Especially if you're in retail.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm really trying to go into business for myself, get into content creation and stuff. That's something I'm personally really trying to pursue, right, like with my expertise, just because I feel like that's the true pathway to make some money, is to work for yourself. Right. But you have to be smart with it.
You have to be smart with everything. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. You got to be savvy. You got to understand what you're up against. You got to be able to analyze what you're up against.
Also, I was reading as Fear stated. That pretty much hits the nail on the head, like almost exactly. If you're going to get paid the $15 an hour, though, you need to put in the $15 an hour work. Like, you don't need to come in and work like you're a minimum wage employee.
Here,
like, even though that would be minimum wage at that point, you need to work.
You need to earn it.
to what
you
it's
know.
worth.
But here's legitimately what will happen. All right, Alex, you can take this to the bank. If tomorrow we wake up and they say $15 minimum wage nationwide,
Good chance of that happening. We've predicted the future
anyway,
twice.
number one, anybody that's salaried, you're not getting a bump. You're not going to get any extras because minimum wage went up, even though you should, because everything at that point shifts. But you're not going to see a dime. Okay. So $15 an hour goes into play. Retailers are going to cut people's hours. They're going to say, yes, we're paying our employees $15 an hour, but all of a sudden, those 30-hour-a-week employees are going to 15. Because they're going to find a way to come underneath the payroll budget. And as I've said before, when it comes to retail, most retailers at the corporate level look at people as a controllable expense and not an asset. And as Hero 130 just put out, yes, you'll see more salary positions because then they can work you 80 hours a week and not have to pay you any different. This is what's going to happen. This is where it's going to backfire. All right? You know, there'll be a ton of people out there in this world, if they pass this tomorrow and said everybody's making $15 an hour and think it's the greatest thing, until the reality hits, that the corporation can be like, oh, that's fine. We'll do that. We'll comply. We'll pay the $15 an hour, but we're going to cut everybody's hours to make sure we still come underneath the payroll budget that we want to have. End of story.
Yeah, I'm just ready to see some type of change, though, in the economy. Whether the $15 an hour minimum wage is the answer, or because just what we've been doing for so many years just isn't working. I do just want to see something different.
Well, I know you do, but there's a sad fact to it all. Just like with the retailers, it's going to be we raised the minimum wage to $15 an hour, and all the people in the banks and they're it's more. Everything's going to go up in price, and that is the problem, not the wage. It's an artificially calculated cost of living. People talk inflation. All right. So I find it hard to believe that back in the day, a chicken laid an egg and you bought that egg for 50 cents. That natural process hasn't changed. Okay? Whatsoever. We're just using 50 cents as an example. Chickens still lay eggs the same way. But all of a sudden, 30 years later, because of inflation, that 50-cent egg's $2. What changed?
The only thing that changed was the inflation aspect.
And who comes up with that?
Who comes up with that is demand.
No.
That is.
Do you and I decide what inflation is? Right.
No.
But we sure as hell pay for it, don't we?
Yes.
Right. The value of our dollar changed. Correct, Russell? But who changes the value of the dollar?
That's a really good question. The cogwheels in my brain
so
is turning.
The stock market. Archer, this is where you start screaming diamond hands. That's the problem. The problem's not the wage. The problem's not what people are getting paid. The problem is the group out there, whoever controls this stuff, that says, okay, last year this house was worth $70,000, this year it's worth $200,000. What happened? Did we start growing trees in space? I mean, like, what's the difference? So that's the problem with the capitalistic formula. All right, because corporations are in it to make money. You're in business to make money. All right, that's the bottom line. But see, right there, Russell, $1.25 raise in 6 years at a dollar store. and can tell you firsthand, worked his ass off, put up with a lot of BS.
Yeah, see, that's crazy.
But it's like that everywhere. It's not just, especially retail as a whole. And one thing I always find out, especially when you get into the salary game, they're never going to pay you what you're worth. They're going to pay you just enough to keep you. And most retail managers, if you're really into it and you're really passionate about the job and you're really just all in, when you start breaking down how many hours you work versus your salary, you're making less than minimum wage.
Now, I've heard that one.
It's true.
Times. I'm gonna need some more explanation on that one. I've actually been meaning to ask like a manager person, like more insight on that, because I've used to hear that talk all the time. Well, in actuality, I make $5.35 an hour.
All right, Alex.
And I'm like, you're making $100,000
Alex,
a year.
Hold up. Hold up. All right. So let me tell you where the manager's coming from. We're going to reference Jesus's Craft Store for just a second. In my retail career, the most hours I've ever worked in a week was, I think it was 92. All right. No. Time out. All right. So let me finish through this and you'll understand. Okay. I worked those 92 hours.
I'm getting scolded by like
because I had to.
Crazy.
Because there were projects and things that needed to get done. That me keeping my job was required. I had a really crappy payroll situation. I didn't have people, and which just left me to get this stuff done. All right. So let's just say, for instance, as I pull out the handy dandy calculator. All right. Let's say, divided by, let's say I was making $60,000 a year. And at that point I wasn't. When you do the math, all right, 92 hours, it's $12 an hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. But think about
insane.
That. All right. Technically speaking, you're making $60,000 a year.
Jesus, Craft Store believed in management working 12 plus hours a day.
That is correct. And that's and Alex, that's how this works. If you've not been in management, in retail, salary management, you're not missing anything, but
it's something I've never.
It doesn't matter, the average retail manager, let's say from a dollar store to a mid-range retailer, you're looking at anywhere from $35,000 to $55,000 a year. Now, here's the other kicker about the $15 an hour. Yay, I work 40 hours a week. I'm making $15 an hour. Hot damn. But, oh, God, I got to get insurance. And the insurance your retailer that you work for is overpriced and shitty. And if, let's say, you're a single mom with 2 kids, the amount of money you're paying for that insurance is going to knock you down to what you were making before the raise. Let that sink in a minute. There's more to all this than just the minimum wage. So
oh yeah, this is why I wanted to debate this.
Cost of living goes up. Somebody that hadn't had insurance finally gets it because they're making too much to qualify for like Medicaid. And after they see that come out of their check, plus taxes and deductions, in most cases, they're making less than they were. Mm-hmm. So what's the answer? There's a few things. And I told a friend of mine I was going to get sidetracked into this because I'm passionate about this too. Insurance is the biggest scam on the face of the planet. And here's why. Say you're 26 years old. You can't be on your parents' insurance anymore. But you know you got to get it, right? And you're a healthy 25, 26-year-old. No problems whatsoever. You wind up paying like $100 a week for insurance. So that's what? 52 weeks in a year. What's $5,200, right? You never use it that year. And then the next year starts.
Yeah.
You pay it all over.
Next year starts, you don't meet
the deductible. No. I'm not even talking about deductibles. I'm talking about how much money you pay versus how much you use it. Do you get any of that money back? Who gets that money?
Who gets that money? The insurance company.
And so let's say you're super uber healthy and you pay $5,200 a year in insurance. In 2 years' time, you don't use any of it. You gave somebody $10,000 that you are never getting back. Mm-hmm. My opinion is if you start an insurance policy and you run through a calendar year and you don't use it, guess what? You shouldn't have to pay again. That should carry over to the next year because the insurance company has provided you zero service. Nothing. But no, you just pay on top of it. And then the insurance companies decide how much they're going to charge retailers for insurance. And it's overpriced insurance for shitty coverage that $15 an hour is still not going to matter.
Because it all comes out a percentage and net.
Yeah. I mean, you know, Russell just made a perfect point. And yes, insurance is shit. Oh, I got to pay a $1,500 deductible. What do you do with all my payments? So you paid $5,200 a year for an entire year of insurance. And then you have a procedure that you have to pay a $1,500 copay. And they've already got $5,200 from you. See the problem?
Yeah.
There's bigger problems than just a minimum wage.
I'm still paying to where I had kidney stones like 2 years ago and had to be rushed to the hospital. I'm still paying that. It's like, it's ridiculous.
Think about car insurance, man. Think about that. You're a great driver. You spend your freedom ain't free. You're right. And here's the thing. Oh, and it's only worth it if you have a pregnancy or cancer. Well, 9 times out of 10, even with cancer, you're still going in the hole. Your insurance isn't going to cover you. That's the thing. You could have somebody that has an insurance policy that's been on this insurance policy for 10 years, paid close to $1 million in, and guess what? You're still not going to get the coverage you need if you have cancer. The system's broken. I mean, it's just insane. And so we're just skimming over the surface. You know, we can talk about minimum wage all day long, but there's so much stuff around that the wage doesn't damn matter. Because they're going to screw you coming in and they're going to screw you going out. And, you know, like I said, car insurance. Car insurance is not cheap if you get a new car. Let's say your car insurance is $300 a month. Do the math. You go 5 years without having an accident. Where'd that money go?
Especially if you're a younger driver like me.
Yeah, at least the IRS, I mean, you know, you pay taxes, you get your refund back. Yeah, it was your money to begin with, but at least they give some of it back. Insurance companies, peace out, bitch. We got your cash.
Oh yeah, no, we'll cover you.
I mean it's just there's so much more to it than this minimum wage argument. All right, I mean, you know, sure, you know, raise it to $15 an hour. Is it going to matter? No, because that $2 loaf of bread's now going to be $5. Somebody needs to step in and regulate the price of goods and services to where people can live and function correctly without going broke. It's not about how much money you make. It's about how much money people are charging you for useless shit.
I think I just have to do this
Oh
real
Lord,
quick.
what's that?
That's just some arrows pointing up, but that looks hilarious in
Yeah.
our chat.
It really comes down to the fact that the
But it
higher ups
looks-
and the big seats need to look into and put restrictions on rules of these gouging. You're right, but they're not going to. Look, I'm going to get into
Yes.
very few businesses I've worked in have I been able to see like actual profit margins. All right. So I'm going to use
Hey.
a real quick example on how much money some things can make.
Hey.
We're going to talk.
1 second, Steve. I just got to make one
What?
joke real quick. At Fear, tomorrow at McDonald's, they got a special going. You can get a large fries for 43 cents. All right. Continue.
So we're going to talk about when I worked for the guitar store. Now it's changed some since then because it's been a long time. But you could get a guitar that costs say like $2,500, but it only costs $1,000. It's $1,500 profit. All right. Now, sure, in a selling game, some of us had some wiggle room. We knew how much profit there was, and we can adjust and whatnot. But we were commission based, so we got paid on what our profits were. Typically, anything made out of wood, I'd say furniture, stuff like that. When you go in and you see some $1,000 dining table, yeah, it probably costs like $300 to make. Now, electronic components and stuff like that, that's a much lower margin. There's not a lot in there. So when you pay $1,500 for a graphics card, it probably cost about $1,410 to make the thing. So, but profit margins is where everything's at. That's why we're in the holes that we're in, and that's why we see the disparity in people, and how they live. Would a cashless barter system be better? Who's going to enforce it? That's the thing. I mean, there's got to be enforcement for anything, all right? But we've let banks and investors just run away with everything. I mean, that's really what happened. I'll give you a goat for ice cream. Okay, sure. They look cute in pajamas. But no, I mean, the problem is, I've said this to people, and let's think about this for a second. The one thing that everybody needs is the hardest thing to acquire. And what is that? Do you know, Alex?
I do not. Go ahead and hit us with the big news.
A home.
Nah.
Yes, it is.
I go live in my car.
No. I mean, that's funny, but no, that's serious. The hardest, the one thing that every human being needs, which is somewhere to live, is the hardest thing to get.
Food.
You go to buy a house, it's a stack of papers this thick.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because everything burns.
But that's the thing. So these are basic things that people need. I'm not saying you should get housing for free, but why is it so damn hard to get it? When you start talking about income disparity, and
well, it's exactly what you said, Steve. It's something that everyone needs. So they know that they can spike the shit out of any real estate, any good house. That's where your money. That's where that is.
And
your money's
here's
at.
the thing:
Period.
if our government was worth a shit, they'd fix that.
Ooh, that's controversial.
No, because here's the thing:
that.
That's both sides of the aisle. This isn't political. They are all on the same fucking team. You want to see America prosper? Give people a fucking shot.
I wanna see both the political parties.
No. Let's slide off. I'm saying this is apolitical. We're not getting to parties. I'm not doing that. I'm saying our government as a whole. Okay? If you give a shit about the American people, Fix that problem. Affordable housing shouldn't mean that you live in the ghetto. Because that's what people think of when they hear of affordable housing. That is terrible. That shouldn't be a thing. Affordable housing should be for everyone. Utilities, power, water, basic things should be even across the board.
I would know that. I have went into massive debt when I tried to move out 2 years ago. Still trying to pay it off. Still trying to pay my debt off. Because it's just so ridiculously expensive. Like me and 2 other roommates living in a tiny ass house, $1,750 a month.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
ridiculous. I watched a video on Reddit that popped up. It was an older video because evidently this guy has improved, but he was Russian. All right, and he was giving a tour of his home that him and his wife lived in for $100 a month is what he paid. You couldn't get what he was living in for less than $600-700 a month anywhere in the United States. $100 a month. He considered himself poor, and for $100 a month, he had better than some people paying $600-700 a month.
Wow.
Yep. Now, people can scream all day long, it's Russia and freedom and communism. Hey, that's fine. But for $100 a month, he's living better than some people who are struggling at $700 to $800 a month. Ludicrous. Why should it be more expensive to live in California than Georgia? Aren't we a part of the same country?
Yeah, well, their sun goes down about
has nothing to do with it.
Now, so, hey.
Why is that house built in California different than the house that's built in North Carolina? Uses the same materials.
I don't know, man. The air's
see. That's the thing. I mean, we can joke about it, but that's the reality. That's the truth.
You can
take the same.
And today's episode was meant to be kind of like just like a kind of a deep discussion. By the way, I'm glad we was able to get a lot of this just out there.
And like I said, none of this is the one thing I need to say is none of this is political. This is dollars and cents. This has nothing to do with who you voted for or what you support at all. And if you think it does, then that's unfortunate because that's not the case.
Yeah, it's just reality.
That's coffee, Russell.
But whew, what an episode.
Well, hey, look, I just feel like you take your eye off the ball. All right, you start focusing on the wrong things, and we can argue all day long. Sure, everybody needs to make more money. Does it really matter if the powers that be make everything else twice as expensive just because we're making more money? What good does it do? At that point, why pay $15 an hour? Doesn't matter. Because it's going to be the exact same situation with bigger numbers. That's all it is. We need to take a good hard look at the things that need to be reined in. Housing prices, utility prices, internet prices. It's just ludicrous, man, because there's people out there working hard. And you got people working 3 jobs, man, just to take care of their kids. And they're good people and they want to work and they just cannot get ahead. They can't even break even. It's those people who need this. But what'll happen is, sure enough, they'll raise the income to $15 an hour. All of a sudden, insurance policies will cost more. The big cats are going to get their cut no matter what. And until the big cats get reined in, you can pay somebody $7.25, $2.25, $100 an hour. It's not going to matter.
Game stonks for the win.
To the moon. To the moon. All right, guys.
I'm for game
It's an
zones,
hour
by
and
the way.
10. I'm gonna go back and check out all the videos on the different platforms to see how they came out. This got a little ranty. Maybe we should have just called this a let's chat. But leave us comments.
Well, it was kind of based. It was kind of based in
Yeah,
retail. Like to
it
be
was.
fair, it was
It was.
based around retail.
It-
This wasn't. I know this wasn't what y'all
Yeah,
expected.
but
This isn't a
no,
funny,
it's not funny.
have addicts crying to his
This was
laughing.
serious, and there's gonna be more serious stuff. Don't be afraid of the seriousness. I mean, these are things that need to be talked about. But I really do need you guys. Send us emails. Send us questions. Send us stuff that you want to hear. I mean, yeah, this was a serious one, but I'm telling you, we could put together an hour of retail stories that every one of you would need to have depends on, because you'd all pee yourself laughing so hard. So tell us what you want to hear.
And just as a teaser for one, there was one when Steve and I were closing on a nice Friday night, I believe, and the credit card machines went down.
Oh,
And me being a sneaky employee, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go to sleep on the patio furniture. Maybe Steve won't notice. Like, I'll wake up because I got a walkie, right? And I'll hear him. And then I wake up and this man is sitting right next to me, and he's just like, yeah, that's payroll well spent, and just walks off.
Pretty much.
And I was like, just scared for my life.
what we'll do is the next
like-
retail war zone, we will go over the god awful Thanksgiving Failmart debacle, Alex, when all the systems went down overnight.
But you see, I wasn't there for that.
I had somebody get so I had
Remember, I was
somebody
there for the morning.
somebody got so mad they took a shopping cart full of merchandise and flipped it upside down.
Oh yeah, no, I heard about that one. But you weren't there for the guy on the ladder. taking
Yes, I was,
TVs in the top
because I
shelf
worked
and just
overnight. I went
throwing
home
it down.
after that.
Oh, didn't you have to work like literally for the 3-day
I sure did.
doorbuster special? Didn't you have to
That
work
was
like
that was terrible.
literally 36
Yeah, it was
hours?
terrible. But I was there for the guy on the ladder that fell. Because
That
we
guy
opened
looked
up at
just
like 5 or
Menendez
6.
Call of Duty, by the
Yeah,
way.
by that time our Bama friend had shown up, and the morning shift had shown up, and I was still there because I had to go outside with him to pass out the tickets for the doorbusters. And people getting mad that they're waiting in line. We got a line like 100, 200 people deep, sitting there trying to get these big screen TVs on Black Friday, and we're handing out tickets. We had two of them.
Yeah, no, what was great was just wonderful. I'm walking out, my happy self, getting ready to go enjoy Thanksgiving with my family.
Yeah, must be nice.
And I see this guy sitting there. He's just sitting there, and he's like, yo, I'm waiting for this TV at 6 o'clock. And I already knew that we was completely sold out because in the morning I was like,
Well,
you're wasting your time.
I'll tell you what,
buddy."
guys, for the next retail one we do, let us know. Would you like to hear about theft, stupid customers, or just horrible situations? Send us a message or something. We'll go over that. But anyway, guys, we're sitting at an hour 14. This has been fun.
Yeah, no, we should.
Alex got me fired up again. You guys benefit from that because my face gets all red and I just go off and whatnot.
This was the side of Steve I always loved
Right.
dealing with at the.
Still wanting to do a Friday free for all, so we need to get some people to volunteer for that mess. So until we get volunteers, we're not going to do it. If not, we will see you guys Monday night at 8 o'clock. Follow us on the respective social medias. We really would appreciate it. And then we will see you next time. Alex, you got anything?
Tune into my stream afterwards.
Post a link.
The obligatory self-plug. Let's
Post
go.
a link real quick. Alex needs all the help he can get. There it is. Twitch.tv Addicts2993.
OSP.
All right, everybody, have a.
Yes, sir. We're gonna get Steve. We're gonna get Steve streaming.
Well, no.
today.
Let me know.
some
Let me
SNES
know
game or
when you want to do the Tetris. We'll do the Tetris. I'll join in on that one.
Oh yeah, I gotta get Tetris
Yep, get
Effect.
Tetris
That's
Effect
right.
and
I
I'll
gotta
play.
look into that.
All right, guys.
Yo.
Everybody have a great night. Thanks
All
for
right,
being here.
until then, thanks for being here.